Hi there, YouTube viewers. I had some more dreams lately, and I wanted to share them with you. There's a lot of detail in them, and so I don't really want to go into all that because it would take too long. So I'm just going to kind of skip to what the interpretations were and kind of just briefly go over it. Alright, the first dream that I had was, it was about the moon turning into a clock, and it's at 11:45. I was outside, it was nighttime, and I was looking up at the sky, and the moon was really bright. It was like a bright sort of orangey color, like a harvest moon. And anyway, as I stared at it, it was like it started turning into a clock, and I could see the hands on it showed 11:45. And it just, all of a sudden, this fear of the Lord just struck me, and like this just imminence, because I knew that meant it was almost midnight, and like my jaw just involuntarily like dropped open, and just amazement, and like I had gum in my mouth, and it was like the gum just kind of hung on my jaw or my lip because I couldn't close my mouth. And anyway, so there were people around me, and I started pointing at the sky, trying to show them the clock, and they stopped for a minute and looked, and when they saw it, it was like they just got really like indignant and just like, oh, God, please, and just got up and left, like they just didn't care, or they thought it was stupid for me to show them, and then that just made me feel like such shock, because I was like, how can they not care? I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was like, there's no way. I mean, the moon says 11:45, and that means it's almost midnight, and they just don't care, or they're upset at me. I couldn't believe it. I was just like totally shocked. So, the Lord just showed me that's kind of how people are a lot, and it really hurts me, that people are like that. And so I was praying about it, and I was like, God, how do you deal with it? Jesus, how did you deal with it? Because I know that, when you were here on the earth, that, the very creation that, you created and that you came here to die for, they hate you, a lot of them, and they just did everything horrible to him. They couldn't stand him. It was just, it was horrible. So the rejection that he felt, and just the pain and everything, I was like, Jesus, I know you are well aware of how it feels, for people to be like that. So please help me, because, sometimes I get really down and discouraged, with it like that, when I feel like I'm putting stuff out there a lot, or showing people, like in the dream, look, and they react that way. And so anyway, that night I had a dream, as I believe it was an answer to that prayer, and it was basically what it was. I'm not going to go into all the detail, but what it meant was, it was like Jesus was actually showing me from a parent's perspective, and I didn't realize this because, I know that Jesus and the Father are one, and that, they're just really close, like when he was on the earth and stuff, that they're really close and everything, but I never really realized that, like, Jesus' perspective of it when he was on the earth going through that would have been the Father's perspective too, and like that he would have looked at it like our Heavenly Father would have looked at it, like just as, the children that were so rebellious. And in my dream, it was like there was this child that was just so rebellious and just hated the parent, and had no respect for the parent, and the affection that the child felt was for another. It was for some cousin or something that was bad, and it wasn't even for the parent. And the parent was just so heartbroken because, the parent loved the child so much and didn't understand what the parent did wrong. Not that the parent did anything wrong, Jesus didn't do anything wrong, God didn't do anything wrong, but it was just that feeling like, of like such heartbreak of, why would you choose another? Why would you do this? And but it was like, in the dream, the parent was like punishing the child, just doing everything, tore up some idols, like broke this idol thing, and just had such anger. But it wasn't anger like people think, oh, God's so mean and stuff, because, look what he did this, whatever. It was anger because of love. It was because his heart was broken, and he was doing everything he could to try to bring that child back to, you know, into the family, and to come back because the child had chosen the wrong way. And anyway, another part of that dream too, there were some kind of demon things that looked like a motorcycle gang of guys, and I was that first person character that was, you know, seeing it through that perspective of the parent, but it was God showing me how he felt. But anyway, I was like standing in front of those people, those demon things, and anyway, so I started trying to like cast stuff out and everything for that child, and they were just like laughing at me. And I even said, like, you know, I bind the spirit of rebellion, whatever. I said that twice. And they were like, you said that already. And I was like, yeah, I just really hate rebellion. And then I said something about and Apollyon. And when I said that, one of them was like, oh, now you're starting to get somewhere. And it was like, anyway, I looked that up afterwards. And Apollyon is like the angel, or I believe, you know, fallen angel of the bottomless pit in Revelation. And it's also the angel of the bottomless pit. It says angel, but I mean, I believe it's, you know, fallen angel. The bottomless pit is also another part in the Revelation, is what is talking about the beast, you know, which is where the Antichrist comes out of the beast. So I just believe that Apollyon just represents probably that Antichrist spirit. Anyway, so that was that dream, just kind of showing like how, you know, it's like how he sees it. It's like the children that he loves, that it's just have chosen this other way, and it's, you know, he sees it's battle not of flesh and blood, but of powers and principalities and all this stuff, and just how heartbreaking it is, and that. So, you know, when I feel rejected or whatever, I know that it's not a personal thing, it's a spiritual thing, and it breaks, you know, God's heart, and that's why he's punished them and stuff in the past so many times. And it's not because God just wants to be mean, it's because he loves them, he loves people, and he wants them to, you know, come back. And he's done everything. I mean, he's brought, you know, gave his own son to die for him, and yet people still have no respect for him and don't care. And anyway, so then that was one dream, and then I had another dream that was, you know, what the meaning of the dream. I'm not going to go into what all the details were again, but the meaning of this dream was, there was like two brothers, and they were twins, and they looked just alike, and they were like newborn. They kind of looked like newborns, and one of them was good and godly, and the other one was kind of on the fence, you know, about it. And so I, again, was that character, that first person that was like God showing me his perspective, that it was through me, and that my character, even though I'm not God at all, but he was like showing me how he sees it, you know. And he like came to him and was like, you know, trying to get him to see he had to make a choice, you know, between God and the world, and the temporary pleasures of this life. And that one brother that had been on the fence was like, I think I'll just take the stuff now, you know, like he wanted, I don't know what, just stuff of the world, you know, be famous or just have things or whatever it was just, you know, that worldliness. And I was like, no, you don't understand, you know, if you choose this now, then you're going to lose everything, you know. But if you die to that, you know, if you give that up and you choose me, you choose God, you know, then you'll gain everything. I mean, in God is everything. And it was like that one brother just didn't get it. It was like he just wanted it now. He just wanted stuff of the world now. And it was like, as he chose that, it was like his face started to turn kind of a green color, and I started to see like 666 started to show up on his forehead. Like it was like it started to light up like it was being burnt through or something. And as it started to show up on the forehead, it was like I just jumped in to intervene again, like, wait, no. You know, it kind of stopped the process, and I was like, maybe you didn't understand still, you know. So it was like just trying to, again, re-emphasize, like, maybe you don't really fully understand what you're doing, you know. And so it just kind of showed to me, it was like, because that's where the dream ended. It didn't really it didn't end with a, you know, final decision or anything, but I mean, it looked like it was going a bad way. But it just showed, you know, I believe God, how much he does to try to get us to understand, and how people, just choose the things of this world. And the mark of the beast, it's more than just whatever. I mean, I don't know how it's going to eventually end up being, whether it's going to be like a microchip or what, but it's an inside decision first, that you just want the things of this world. You want the temporary pleasures above God, kind of like Esau, gave up his birthright for a bowl of, lentils or whatever. It's just that spirit. And the fact that it was two brothers, looked like twins, I believe that meant that, it has to do with, I believe, the falling away that's going to happen, that people that are brothers, you think you're brothers and sisters in the Lord, there's going to be a lot of them that when it really comes down to it, they're going to choose the things of this world. They're going to choose that way that leads to following the Antichrist, and eventually, end up taking the mark of the beast, because, it's a heart thing. And it's just really, really sad, but it shows how much God does to try to keep that from happening, because he thinks, it's like Jesus when he died on the cross. He was like, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. It's like he does everything to try to be like, wait, maybe you don't understand. Let me explain it again, But some people are just set. It doesn't matter how many times you explain it. But anyway, those were my dreams, and I just wanted to say, too, along the lines of that last dream, too, the fact that they were like newborns, I don't know if that means that they're children, really, that have already passed the age of accountability, so that they're making that choice, or if they're just newborn Christians, or just Christians that have remained in an infantile state, or they're not really Christian. I believe that if you're truly born again, then you're sealed, so maybe it's just Christians you think are Christians that just seem like they've stayed, babies or whatever. I don't know. But I do know that, there's this Mega Fest thing that I heard about the other day that I've been really concerned about. And, this is just one example of just how I feel like the falling away is happening so much, that it's going to be like T.D. Jakes and Joel Osteen, and they've invited Oprah to come, and she's going to be leading, or I don't know if it's a video, I think it's a video class of a life class that she's doing, and that's just not good. She's not a Christian. She's New Age, and she doesn't believe that Jesus is the only way to salvation. And the fact that they're inviting her to be a part of this mega fest, and so many people are all excited about it. Even online, I couldn't hardly find anything that showed people that were concerned about it. Almost everything I saw about it was like, yay, we're so excited, this is going to be awesome. And even like some Christian posts, are like, it's going to be the best mega fest ever. And I'm just like, what is going on, And maybe I'm kind of blinded sometimes because I live in the Bible Belt, and I know that there's a lot of stuff going on out here, but in some ways I'm kind of incubated because there's so many churches. But even in the churches, not everybody that says they're a Christian is, not everyone who calls Lord, Lord is saved, And but as far as this falling away, just going towards apostasy, it's really, really happening, and it's really sad, and we really need to pray for people. But anyway, I just wanted to share those dreams. And, I believe the first dream especially is an encouraging dream. It's a wake-up call for sure, for people to realize the times that we're living in, and to not be just, it's like the virgins, with oil, their lamps, you need to make sure that you have oil in your lamp. And I believe that is, just the Holy Spirit, that you are just walking in the Spirit, you are awake. And it says they all fell asleep, but I just believe that it's just staying close with the Lord, not becoming worldly. And we're supposed to pray that we not be polluted by the world. So anyway, just be looking for His return, waiting Him, and be excited, because we'll be getting to go home soon, but in the meantime, we do need to try to be a light in this world for people, because so many people are falling into deception, and people are, there's so much deception out there. It's overwhelming, so the only way to overcome that is just to know the truth. The truth will set you free, and be one who speaks the truth. Be grounded, rooted in the truth, so that you won't fall for the deceptions out there. Read the Word, pray, be filled with the Holy Spirit, spend time with the Lord, keep yourselves from being polluted by the world, get discernment, pray for wisdom and discernment, heavenly wisdom and discernment. Just ask the Lord to protect you, guard your heart, just stay close with Him and be a light in this world. All right, y'all be blessed. Bye.